And throughout the whole show, the winners, the losers. My message to the losers: losers, look in the mirror. No? Well, maybe you should. Sorry. Well, that's my feeling. Losers, look in the mirror, okay?
The Trump presidential win has sent shockwaves through the leftist media, but of course there's actually been two types of reactions. One has been retrospective, right? What in the world did we do wrong? What did we miss? What did we not understand? And the other is, Donald Trump is the worst. I can't believe America voted for that racist, sexist, bigot, homophobe, all right? Now, of course, the former is the proper response. What were we missing that the American people totally clued in on? And of course, that's what we're going to be discussing today on Bill Maher, right? He's got his thoughts out there and I want to give them to you. But before we get to the video, please like and comment so we can break through the algorithm. Here we go.
But you can't scream about democracy and then have a guy run the table like this and not say, well, it's a mandate, right? Is that right or wrong? Is it a mandate?
Yes, the Harvard Institute of Politics student president came out with an op-ed today talking about how they weren't going to forego democracy for the sake of nonpartisanship. Set aside that they might have wanted to talk to a lawyer before saying their nonprofit was now going to be a partisan organization. But the idea that you're going to be pro-democracy by not giving a voice and allowing other students to hear from speakers that belong to the party that just won through a democratic process, like that's where the left has a problem. They become the party of the faculty lounge. They're so condescending. They're so arrogant. And again, not to beat the dead horse, the whole point is to be exclusionary. They're not accidentally exclusionary. It's the mission statement.
Yeah, no, I mean, I saw Kamala was on Saturday Night Live, as the losing candidate often is. It worked so well for Hillary. Let's run that back. And it just made me think, I'm sure every single member of the Saturday Night Live cast was a Harris supporter. But what if one of them wasn't? What if one of those cast members was for Trump? Would they have felt comfortable saying so? I really don't think so. They would have had to keep it to themselves. That's not a good place for us to be. I remember when, and that happens even more on the left. And I remember when Elon Musk hosted, and this is well before he was a Trumper. This is 3 or 4 years. He was just the richest man in the world. And a number of the cast members on Saturday Night Live, like, they didn't want to deal with him. They didn't exactly boycott, but they made it plain. And I was thinking, really? You have Elon Musk on your show for a week. You could talk to one of the most interesting, brilliant people the world has ever produced, even about this issue that bothers you so much, that he's so rich and lots of people aren't. But no, you don't want to even deal with him. That's what I hate about the left. You're brats. You're brats and you're snobs, and people don't like that.
And not in the brat summer way.
Not in a brat. That's right, not brat summer.
Look at the dating.
Look how good that worked.
So the first big failing of the left pointed out here, of course, is how exclusionary they are. They don't want to be exposed to any other ideas. They don't want to be around people that have opposing viewpoints. They just want to have their little bubbles because, of course, they're the intelligent ones. They're the enlightened ones. They're the ones with all of the answers. But guess who doesn't think so? Obviously, it's the American people. And I like how Bill Maher actually says, yeah, you can't sit there and harp about being pro-democracy and then turn around and say, you know what, this election was decided by a bunch of uneducated, stupid voters, right? They have no idea the problems they have caused. Yeah, they have an idea simply about what's going on in the world around them, okay? And that, of course, is being reflected. And this is something, by the way, the left should have known, because it's all we have been talking about on the right side for years, right? All the problems happening, everything that is wrong out there in the country. But the left, oh, it's the best stock market ever, right? The border is completely and totally secure. The world is safer under Joe Biden. Jobs are much better, right? Production is much better. Everything is better, except for we're just not seeing it, and you're too dumb to realize it.
Look at the dating numbers. Liberal women won't be friends with, won't date a conservative man. It's not good for our society if you've replaced religion with politics, and we're becoming a post-racial society, which is a good thing.
Yes.
But it's being replaced with this diploma divide where you have, again, this like arrogant, condescending group that says if you don't vote the way we do, you're a fascist, you're Hitler, you're Hitler-like. It's 1933 again, as Jen Rubin from the Washington Post tweeted yesterday. During the attack on Jews in Amsterdam, she's tweeting about how it's 1933 here. Let's look at Europe for a second.
In some ways, he is Hitler-like. I'm sorry, but that's just true. Not Hitler, but, you know.
Just because someone voted for
He says he likes their generals. You know, I mean, that's Hitler-like. I wish I had his generals.
Because someone voted for Trump You
Yes.
don't get to then ostracize them from polite
I agree.
society.
And also, like, the problem with the left is that they don't want to deal with anyone who just likes Trump. I've been saying this for years. You can hate Trump. You can't hate everybody who likes him. It's half the country, and they're not all bad people. Politics isn't an extension of a person directly like that. Yes, it's easy for you to think you're better than Trump. He steals from charities and suggests shooting protesters in the legs. It's not a high bar. But that's not who these people are.
You know who ended the character debate in this country? It was the left with Clinton. Right? I mean, they're the ones who said character didn't matter in the White House, and now suddenly they think character matters a lot. I thought character mattered the whole time.
Well, Clinton has a way better character than Trump. Bill Clinton and Donald Trump? What was Bill Clinton's giant character flaw? He likes pussy. Oh.
Pussy that doesn't like him back, by the way. He was accused of rape pretty credibly.
That's true. That's true.
And the left told us he was the feminist president, that we were supposed to get behind him as women because otherwise you were a traitor to your gender. And by the way, people who didn't vote for Kamala Harris, I'm seeing a lot from the left say that it's because they're sexist. No! You don't have to vote for the woman who's only been in campaigning for 3 months because the dude put her in a position to fail.
What really stood out to me in that exchange is the simple fact that, yes, the left has actually replaced religion with their crazy woke ideology. And so much so that they won't even date. They won't even associate with someone who doesn't believe the exact same things that they do. But of course, when the idea is brought up that you shouldn't call Donald Trump a fascist or a Nazi, Bill Maher's like, well, he is a little bit like a Nazi because he loves all those Nazi generals, etc. He believes the lie that John Kelly told. Remember, John Kelly sat on this information for what, 6 years before finally releasing it just a few days before the election, all right? Yeah, and also it was completely discredited by people who were constantly around Donald Trump as well. So I don't believe that for 1 second that Donald Trump actually said that, okay? But Bill Maher, he of course is drinking the Kool-Aid on this issue. And of course, bringing up the whole juxtaposition between Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. Yeah, Bill Clinton was accused of some pretty horrendous activities as well. But of course, he didn't get indicted on it in New York City, a place where basically over 80% votes against you, and now you're on trial because they're supposedly your peers, okay? But we won't worry about any of that. The good news is at least some people are willing to be a little introspective and discover that, you know what? Maybe we have been lied to. Maybe we didn't have the correct information, and maybe we shouldn't dismiss out of hand half of the country, or over half of the country, as we just found out. And someone else who's surprisingly coming along with this idea is Charlamagne Tha God.
Listen, America has spoken, and they spoke loud and clear. Donald Trump will be the 47th president of the United States of America. I have friends on the right, I have friends on the left, I have friends that are independents, and regardless of who we all decided to vote for yesterday, guess what? Donald Trump is now all of our president again. I don't want to fight anyone. I don't want to argue with anyone because at the end of the day, we are all Americans and we all want what's best for this country. I hope. Okay, I know today Democrats are going to be looking for someone to blame. Let me be the first to tell you it's not just one thing. I personally feel like Donald Trump speaks to people's grievances better than Democrats do. I know people are going to talk about misinformation and the dumbing down of society. I understand all of that, but you don't have to be intelligent to know you can't pay your bills. You don't have to be intelligent to know you can't afford groceries. People will forget what you did, they will forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel. And to millions of Americans, tens of millions of Americans, they simply felt financially better when Trump was in office. I don't think it's fair to just chalk up, Trump winning to racism, sexism, homophobia, anti-Semitism. Yes, he tapped into all of the worst things America has ever had to offer. And there are a lot of people who agree with his rhetoric and voted for him because of those reasons. But I truly believe most people voted for him because they want more money in their pocket and they want to feel safe. Look, I know the economy does better under Democrat presidents, but Democrats haven't been able to make the American people believe that. I know the border is a bipartisan issue, but Democrats spent a lot of time acting like it wasn't an issue. Democrats created the sanctuary cities. Democrats told them to come on in. Meanwhile, Republicans were putting migrants on buses and planes and sending them to those sanctuary cities, and then Democrats had to change course. But it might have been too little too late, because at the end of the day, once again, when you see all that money going to migrants, going to the border issue, all you can think to yourself is they have billions for that, but aren't making investments into the communities right here in America.
So Charlamagne, of course, is actually getting the point, but then again, he says, yeah, Donald Trump bought into all of that rhetoric, right? He's responsible for saying all those awful, terrible, racist things. No, he didn't, all right? He was always speaking directly to Americans, and anything you perceive as being racist was him just saying, hey, we got to get the illegal aliens, especially the criminals, out of this country, right? Everything else is a complete media lie. But Charlamagne is correct. Donald Trump had the perception of having the better economy because he did have the better economy. And that, of course, is what most people were voting on. And also mentioned here, the madness of the border and how Democrats didn't want to address it. The madness of spending millions and billions of dollars on illegal immigrants and spending nothing on our own communities to keep them safe and healthy and thriving. Okay, that is the craziness that everyone saw around them during the Biden-Harris regime. And that, of course, is what happens when leftists take over. And it's exciting to see people waking up to this fact, even if they'll never admit it. All right, so thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and stay safe out there, people, because they're coming after you.